All praises due to the Most High, family. We back with another Acres anime review, family. I just finished watching episode... What is this? Episode 55? Episode 55 of Jujutsu Kaisen, family. And, family, it's getting good. I'm enjoying it. I just want to preface this episode, this review. I just want to preface this review, family. TBH. JJK wanted to, it's not always difficult to follow, but at sometimes the details can be difficult to keep all of them in mind, you know. So I just want to preface it with that. I mean, maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I just be distracted. I don't know. But I definitely appreciate when my Jujutsu Kaisen family tap in, clear things up in the comments, because I enjoy it better when I understand it better. With that being said, I mean, this episode didn't have a lot of details to follow, to be honest with you. We progress with the plot, obviously. We gain some more understanding, definitely. But in terms of advancement, this was probably one of the more slower episodes of the season. Okay. So remember, family, the last episode ended with both Yuji and Megami finding individuals who they're trusting. I mean, we know Megami is not really trusting this girl really at all, but they're tentatively trusting these individuals to help them find what's his guy's name? Higuruma. Right? Now, at first I confused Koshimo, who imposed the newest rule, with Higuruma. At first I had them confused. Koshimo is the person we saw maybe, I think, 2 episodes ago, and they imposed the newest rule. And they have like very traditional Japanese clothing on, if I recall correctly. Higuruma is okay, so here's the distinction, family. Because remember, we were entering the calling games, Megami was explaining to Yuji, hey, there's going to be older sorcerers, much like Sukuna and Kenjaku, and they're going to be battle-hardened. You know, they're just going to really have to brush off the rust, but they're going to be, you know, they have experience of thousands and hundreds of years of sorcery, right? Whereas there are going to be, which is Koshimo. But Higuruma is one of these newer sorcerers, and Megami entering the calling games was suspecting that the newer sorcerers would be more persuadable. They'd be more amenable to our ends, right? Megami was dead wrong, and he realized that as soon as he as soon as he entered the Tokyo colony. But this explains Yuji's approach here. Okay, so the first half of the episode, family, we got Higuruma's background. He's a lawyer. He's actually, I sympathize with him a little bit. I find this character very interesting. Koshimo too, but I think now I'm more interested in Higuruma. He was a lawyer, family. He really did it for the love of the game. He really pursued difficult trials to sharpen his blade, right? But he also does, which is why I sympathize with him. He also does have this, he was comparing himself to Lady Justice. And he was saying the difference between him and Lady Justice is Lady Justice blinds herself intentionally as to not display any biases, right, in her handing out of justice. Higuruma wants to absorb the intensity of his client's situation. And so that's why he keeps a blindfold off intentionally. And his, secretary, his right hand assistant, she disagrees with him philosophically on that. She's saying, hey, Higuruma, like, what about your mental justice? Like, you're taking these difficult, impossible trials, knowing the client is going to be upset with you. They're going to threaten you. They're at their wits' end. Higuruma says, this reminds me to be on point, right? This reminds me the significance of the fight I'm engaged in is the stakes of this person, right? So off that, I respect Higuruma. Now, he was defending a person, a suspect of a murder trial. This person's background was, by most assessments, was like this innocent person who got wrapped up in a murder trial, right? Some things, a couple details seem suspicious, but overall, this seems like an innocent guy involved in a murder trial. Higuruma wants to defend this guy's innocence. He wins the first case. He's deemed innocent, but this ruling was appealed, and in the appeal, this guy got life. Complete opposite result of what he got in the first trial. So we get this scene of this intense anger that the client, the defendant, feels towards Higuruma. But Higuruma says, that comes with it. What happens in this moment is Higuruma then suddenly gets powers and he says, no, the trial's not over. We're having a retrial. Now Higuruma he's taking a vigilante approach on his view of justice, which I find interesting. I'm curious to find out what happens with him moving forward. Okay, Yuji finds Higuruma. The man that Yuji found who led him to Higuruma, he was not the liar. The woman who told Megami that she was leading him to Higuruma, she lied. She led this guy to this what was his name? Reggie. She led him to a guy named Reggie. Now, Reggie seems to be a older, more battle-hardened sorcerer, right? But we know nothing of this guy. All that we know is that he was expecting this girl to bring a victim back for him. She was expecting him to victimize whoever she brought to Reggie. But in a turn of events from her perspective, Reggie finds Megami useful. He finds him powerful enough. And he explains to us, this is really the biggest turn of events for me, family. The Culling Games, we thought, was to produce as many capable sorcerers as possible. That's not the case. Reggie corrects this. It's a slight correction, but one nonetheless. He tells us the purpose is not to create a quantity of sorcerers, but a quality of sorcerers. We're really only expecting one, maybe two sorcerers from each colony. There's only 10 colonies, family. We're expecting one, maybe two of them in each colony to ascend above the rest. And those are it reminds me of Hell's Paradise, actually, right? You want to produce a quality of victim to use for Tenzin, to use for the elixir of life in Hell's Paradise, but in here, cursed energy, right? We're looking to produce the highest quality, 10 to 15 to 20 of the highest quality sorcerers possible. Now, what they're going to do with them, I have no idea, family, because Kenjaku was meeting some board of directors at the end of the episode. I have no idea who these people are. But given that the ends of the Culling Game are slightly different now, who knows what they have in mind? I genuinely have no idea. It seems, family, Megami has a tentative collaboration with Reggie, but Yuji is definitely fighting Higuruma, right? We ask him to use his points, but he disagrees. He wants to enjoy his vigilante view of justice right now. So Yuji gotta give him the fisticuffs. All praises, family. Peace and love.